Yes, children, good morning. So, children, in today's class, we shall discuss the further topics, that is uptake and transport of mineral nutrients, transport of mineral nutrients. So, uptake and transport. Uptake means what? That is absorption of these minerals from the soil, and also the same nutrients or minerals are transported to different parts of the plant body. So how it occurs within the plant? So yesterday in brief we have discussed. So continuing that part, the carbon and oxygen, the plant absorbs from CO2, from CO2. CO2 is present where? In atmosphere. So from CO2 in the atmosphere. So the carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere is absorbed by the plant. When the stomata are open, the diffusion of the carbon dioxide occurs. How? By simple diffusion. That means the carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere, when compared to the internal leaf, it is less. That is, internal leaf has less carbon dioxide, and outside in the atmosphere there is much carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide diffuses from higher concentration to lower concentration into the leaf when the stomata are open during daytime. Okay. So why that carbon dioxide is required? So for the synthesis, for the fixation of the carbon dioxide in the form of the food, the carbon dioxide is very much essential. So what is the food? The glucose. Glucose, what is the formula of the glucose? C6H12O6. Oxygen is there, carbon is there. From where that carbon and oxygen and nitrogen gets to the plant? For the synthesis of glucose, carbon is very much essential, hydrogen is essential, and also oxygen is essential. From where these carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen are taken by the plants? So very simple, the carbon and hydrogen, carbon and oxygen takes up from the CO2 in the atmosphere. Like that, the hydrogen from what? From water. So water consists of H2O. So H hydrogen, two hydrogen are present here, that is utilized for the hydrogen purpose. And the nutrient materials are the nutrients that are required to the plant for various processes. No, those nutrients are absorbed from the soil. The nutrients are absorbed from the soil. Nutrients means there are different inorganic and organic nutrients are there. They are very much required for various processes, for the synthesis of food, for manufacturing of the proteins, enzymes, hormones, etc. All these are for functioning of various functions within the plant body. These minerals are very much essential, and these minerals are taken by the plant like in the form of ions. They are in the form of charged particles that are present in the soil, and they are either passively or actively they are absorbed by the root epidermal cells. Active absorption also occurs sometimes, the passive absorption also occurs. Both through this, the mineral ions move into the root epidermal cell, that is root hair. Epidermal cells means what? Epidermal cells of the root consist of root hairs. They are nothing but enlarged cells of the epidermis. So the nutrients are absorbed from the soil, the hydrogen that is taken from water, carbon and oxygen from CO2 in the atmosphere, so that the plant get carbon. These are the main constituent: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, for the synthesis of the food material. So this is how the plants are taken, how this uptake of mineral ions occurs. Now let us discuss in brief uptake of mineral ions. So uptake of mineral ions, all mineral ions either passively or they are actively absorbed. So by simply passively they cannot be absorbed. Sometimes what happens, active absorption also occurs. Why? Because the soil consists of less amount of mineral ions when compared to the root epidermal cell. Cytoplasm of the root epidermal cell consists of more mineral ions. Even then, the mineral ion should move from lower concentration to higher concentration in opposite direction against the concentration gradient. Then there is an application of energy, that is active transport is required for the transportation of these mineral ions against the concentration gradient. From low to high they have to be transported, no? From high to low easily passively transported. All the time passive absorption alone don't occur from the soil into the roots where the mineral ions moves, no? There passive absorptions alone cannot work. So active absorptions also take part. So all mineral cannot be passively absorbed. So why they cannot be passively absorbed? And these mineral ions are present in the form of charged particles. Charge means what? Some of the ions they have the negative charge and some ions have positive charge. Understand? So they have to be potassium, calcium, understand? So magnesium, they have the positive charge. Chloride ions, understand? They have the negative charge. And some nitrates, understand? Nitrides, etc. They also have the negative charges. So like this, negative or positively charged particles are present in the soil, you know. Minerals are present in the soil in the form of charged particles. So minerals are present in the soil in the charged particles. Hence they cannot cross the cell membranes. So cell membrane, the epidermal cells of the root consist of the cell membrane, you know, and they cannot pass. Then how they pass? They cannot cross the cell membranes because they have the charges. And another thing is why they cannot be passively absorbed. For that, the two reasons. Minerals are present in the soil in the form of charged, either negative charge or they might be having the positive charges. Hence they cannot cross the cell membranes passively. Another thing is the concentration of minerals in the soil. The concentration of the minerals in the soil is lower than the concentration of minerals that is present in the root cell. So the concentration of the minerals in the soil is lower than the concentration of minerals in the roots. So that means the roots has more mineral ions than the soil. Then passive absorption, how the passive absorption occurs? See, always the passive absorption occurs from higher concentration to lower concentration, isn't it? Easily without any energy utilization, the mineral ions or the molecules are transported from high to low. This happens, this is called as passive. Now think that it is soil, and this is root. The root has less less mineral ions, and the root has more minerals. So from the soil, the mineral ions have to be absorbed into the root. Passive absorption won't work here. That is why the active absorption takes place by using the energy against the concentration gradient. No? From low to high, the molecules are transported. So against the concentration gradient, the molecule should cross the membrane. Here the membrane is present. And these ions are in the charged form. How they are carried? There are some special proteins that are present on the membrane. By using the energy ATP, they can transport these ions into the root from the soil. Got it? So from the soil into the roots, by using energy like ATP, the membrane proteins that are present on the membrane transport these ions into the roots. So it is agonist. That means active transport occurs. Active transport occurs, that is one thing. So I can say here, most minerals are absorbed by active transport by using what? ATP energy. So by using ATP energy, they are transported against the concentration gradient. Ions are absorbed from the soil by both actively and also passively. Some ions, not all the ions. So it depends upon the concentration gradient of that particular ion. Some ions are absorbed passively and some ions are absorbed actively. And passive transport by special proteins. Some ions are absorbed passively and some by actively. So passively and actively transport occurs. So by what? By special proteins. Already we have discussed in our previous class, facilitated diffusion. Recall that there are some special membrane proteins are present which are involved in transportation of these ions, but gradient should be there for passive transport. For active transport, even if the gradient is not available, against the concentration gradient, active transport occurs. So ions are absorbed either passively or actively by special proteins. Where these proteins are present? These proteins are present. Proteins are on the root epidermal cell. These proteins are present on the root epidermal cell, and these proteins are involved in transportation. When these ions, when they move into the roots either actively or passively, from the root they move into the cortex. From the cortex they finally reach the endodermis. So endodermal cells, they always do not allow the molecules, even the water cannot move directly, because the endodermal cells consist of what? Suberized. And the endodermal cell also consists of certain proteins, and these proteins are involved in transportation of these ions into the xylem, that is inside the endodermis there is a stellar region is present. So pericycle and the xylem is present. No, it is transported to the xylem. Now the endodermal cells have many transport proteins. The endodermal cells have the many transport proteins are present. So like that, how the plasma membrane consists of these proteins, like that endodermal cells also consists of transport protein. Transport proteins of the endodermal cells are control points. They are nothing but these transport proteins act as control points. So they control points means what? Plant adjust the quantity of the solutes and the type of the solute that is allowed into the xylem. So it stops, it control, it act as a control point. Which one? The transport proteins of the endodermis. The endodermis act as a control point. Which molecules is to be allowed inside the steel, into the steel or into the xylem, and how much quantity and the type of solute is controlled by the endodermis. That is why it is called as checkpoint. It acts as checkpoint. Okay, so the quantity and the type, the quantity and the type of solute is controlled. That enters the xylem. Not all the substances and not in any maximum quantity these mineral ions are allowed. They act as a checkpoints or a control point. Only certain molecules in specific amount they are allowed to transport through the endodermis. Why? Because due to suberin, what that endodermis consists of? The endodermis is highly suberized. Due to suberin, in endodermis there are some special proteins, through which the active transport occurs. Due to suberin, active transport occurs in endodermis. In endodermis also there is active movement of the molecules occurs, and this active transport will be only in one direction. Only in one direction only. That is, when it moves into the steel, these minerals do not come back into the cortex once again. From the cortex, when these ions or minerals moves into the stellar region, they again do not come back or do not flow back. So they only move from the epidermis into the cortex. Here the endodermis is present, here the xylems are present. No, in this direction only it will move, but not in this direction, opposite. So this is how the uptake of mineral ions either passively or actively through special proteins occurs. But against the concentration gradient, some of the special proteins, by using the energy, they uptake the mineral ions from the soil and it is transported. And the endodermis act as a control point or a checkpoint. Only it allows certain quantity and the type of solute is highly controlled here. There also active transport occurs. Now, translocation of mineral ions. After ions have been observed either actively or passively, active transport or passive transport occurs after ions have absorbed active or passive transport. Where they go? So they are supplied to each and every parts of the plant body, to all the plants of the plant body, to all the branches in the upward direction, to the branches, to the leaves, to the fruit, flower, to the storage organs, to the growing apexes, to the growing parts like the dividing parts where the actively dividing cells are present like apical meristems and the lateral meristems. They require most these ions, then only they can take part in their role easily, so that they after absorption by active or passive transport supplied to all the parts of the plant body. They are supplied to all parts of the plant body by transpiration stream. By transpiration stream. So where these are utilized and these ions are utilized, these ions are utilized by the growing regions. Okay, growing regions. What are these growing regions? Such as apical meristem, lateral meristem. You know what are meristems? Lateral meristems. So these meristems are present. There are different types of meristems. Primary meristems, secondary meristems based on their origin, and we classify based on their location apical meristems, lateral meristems, intercalary meristems. Apicals in the apex of the plant body at the tip of the root and shoot. These apical meristems are present. These are young, actively dividing, undifferentiated group of cells or mass of cells that are capable of giving rise to different tissue systems within the plant body. They are called as meristems. Lateral meristems, these are present laterally in the plant body and they are responsible for increasing in the diameter of the plant body. The secondary growth occurs due to these lateral meristems. And intercalary meristems, they are present at the nodal regions, just at the nodal regions. They are involved in elongation of the plant body, and these meristems, they are nothing but undifferentiated. We cannot differentiate it. These are actively dividing young cells. They require much of the energy is required. That's why the meristems consist of more mitochondria than any other cells, because energy, much energy is required for the cell division, and they also utilizes more food, more nutrients, ions are required to this apexes or the growing regions. Lateral meristems. Next, the young leaves. So young leaves, just born leaves, they are young and they have to grow, enlarge, increase in size. Lot of changes occurs in the leaf. Young leaf in the flowers, growing flowers requires, and the fruit, for the formation of the fruits, these ions. See, within the fruit many nutrients are present, so the ions are required for the formation of the flowers. They are required for the formation of fruits. They are required seeds, and also storage organs. Storage organs. See, where these ions after transportation where they go to all these parts: apical meristem, lateral meristem, young leaves, flowers, fruits, seeds, and much of them are stored in the storage organs. They are mobilized, transported to these parts of the plant body. So these ions unloading occurs. No, how this unloading? Unloading means what? So from the transpiration stream, these ions are present in the form of dissolved with water, no, and they have to be unloaded. That is loading. Load have to be unloaded. Unloading of these ions into the cells of fruits, seeds, flowers, young leaves, meristems, etc. Whichever the cell that requires these ions, they are unloaded. Unloaded means these cells take up these ions from the transpiration stream from the xylem, and they are utilized for various purpose. How this unloading occurs? Unloading occurs by diffusion and also active process. Unloading occurs by simple diffusion. Why? Because in the transpiration stream, in the xylem, the nutrients, ions are more. Within the cell, the ions will be less. So by simple diffusion, they may diffuse. Even some of the ions may be more within the cell, and in the transpiration stream or in the xylem, the ions are less. Then the active transport occurs by using the energy. That process is called as unloading. Mineral ions are also remobilized. Not only the root from the soil, these mineral ions are absorbed. Sometimes what happens? Mineral ions are remobilized. When they are mobilized, they are taken up by the cells of the leaf, flower, branches, etc. So they are remobilized from the senescent parts, from senescent parts of plant body. Senescent parts means what? So the parts of the plant that is about to fall, or the death of certain parts of the plant occurs, like the leaf become old, that is senescence, becoming or growing old, and finally they move towards death and they fall. The branches fall, the leaf will fall, isn't it? So from the senescent parts, these mineral ions are taken back, remobilized. When they are mobilized into the leaf, so the older leaf do not require, because the metabolism in that leaf has been decreased, so there is no any process, metabolic process that occurs in that older leaf. So there are chlorophyll is lost, so there is no photosynthesis, etc. So the wastage of ions occurs in the senescent. These ions, when the leaf fall, these ions also get wasted, so they fall onto the ground. Again they diffuse into the soil. That wastage is avoided from the senescent part of the leaf, from the senescent part of the plant body, that is like branch. They are taken back, they are absorbed back. That is called as remobilization of these mineral ions from the senescent parts of the leaf into the plant body again, to avoid wastage of these mineral ions. Mainly the mobilization of these ions that occurs, remobilization, very important, from the senescent part of the senescent means what? Old, older parts of the plant body. So the substances or the molecules or the ions that are readily remobilized or readily remobilized ions are, so just I will write P for phosphorus, you can copy it, okay, phosphorus. Next the sulfur, the nitrogen and the potassium. Sulfur, nitrogen, potassium. So the readily from the senescent parts of the plant body, the remobilization occurs readily. These ions like phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen, and potassiums are readily remobilized. And some of the elements very important for NEET or for CET, they will ask structural elements like calcium. So many a times it came. So the structural element. So structural element means what? It requires for the formation of the structure like cell wall within the plant body. Calcium, pectate, isn't it? So calcium. The structural elements like a calcium, they are not remobilized. Are not remobilized. Okay. So the mobilized elements are phosphorus, sulfur, readily mobilized elements like phosphorus, sulfur, nitrogen and potassium. The structural elements like calcium, calcium is also present in the cell walls, no? They cannot be remobilized. So when the analysis of the xylem exudates, exudate means what? So when you cut the branch or a stem of an young plant, then from the xylem some sort of solution will come out from the cut end part of the twig, that is called as xylem exudate. When we analyze the xylem exudate, analysis of the xylem exudate. Exudate means what? The solution that is coming out of the xylem show nitrogen. So nitrogen, and this nitrogen is present in the form of what? In the form of inorganic nitrogen as inorganic form. Not only in this form, some of the nitrogen is transported in the plant body in the form of organic form, that is in the form of amino acids. Nitrogen is also present in organic form as amino acid, so that is utilized. And small amount of the phosphorus, small amount of the phosphorus and sulfur, the small amount of phosphorus and sulfur, they occur in the form of what? Organic compounds. Just I am writing ORG. ORG means organic. Small amount of phosphorus and sulfur, they are present as organic compounds. And the small amount of these substances ions exchange occurs in between the xylem and phloem also, always not from the root itself. So small amount of ions are exchanged, small amounts of ions are exchanged between xylem and phloem. So in the previously what the older concept was present, the xylem only consists of the inorganic material and the phloem only consists of the organic material. That has been disproved. Why? Because they too exchange between them the required element in small amount exchange, because the xylem is located side by the phloem. Xylem and phloem are present side by side. Some of the materials are exchanged in between these two. So previously what it was thought, the xylem supplies only the inorganic materials and the phloem supplies only the organic materials. So here you can see the exchange of the materials occurs in between these two. So this is how the translocation of mineral ions from absorption, when they are get absorbed into the xylem, where they are located, where they are transported, where they are utilized. So that is translocation of mineral ions to different parts of the plant body for various functions.